I can't do it.
Okay.
We'll do it live.
Okay. No.
We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live.
Right.
Fucking thing sucks.
In 5, 4, 3.
Anyone claiming that America's economy is in decline is peddling fiction.
I've abandoned free market principles to save the free market system.
But we have to pass the bill so that you can find out what is in it.
Raising the debt ceilings does not increase our debt. It does not somehow promote profligacy.
I know words. I have the best words. Nobody knows the system better than me, which is why I alone can fix it.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? We are back. Well, I am back. This is the Peddling Fiction Podcast. I am alive and well. I don't know if anybody was actually worried about me, but it's been a pretty crazy couple of weeks here, and it's been a while since we've put out an episode. God, probably almost a month now, which is ridiculous and kind of mostly my fault. I apologize. I did try to put something out last week when I got settled after all of the chaos in Mexico, but I didn't have my mic, and I think I might have actually forgotten to add myself to the studio because I didn't have the camera on either. So I just talked to myself for like 45 minutes, sort of breaking down my thoughts on that whole situation. And I tried to put something out, like last Tuesday or Wednesday or something like that. And it was just, 45 minutes worth of air. So, and then Friday, I don't know if you remember, I was having some computer problems on the last episode. And I think it stemmed from something I did to try to ironically speed up my computer for trading. And I think it slowed down the streaming aspects of it. So I kind of had to do, we tried to start an episode and it was just all fucked up. So last Friday was my fault again. But I think I got the computer issues worked out. And rolling solo today, Justin's going to be out for a while, for the foreseeable future. I wasn't sure what he was going to be comfortable with me telling everybody, but I just saw a post that he put on X, so I guess he's okay with it. Justin's son was killed in a car wreck. And as soon as I say that, the internet feed goes out. Justin's son was killed in a car wreck this morning. That's why we didn't do an episode. It actually feels kind of weird doing an episode right now. Not really comfortable with it. But at the same time, like I said, I feel like I owe you guys at least something. But yeah, so he's going to be out for a while. I don't even know what to say. I'm still kind of in shock about the whole thing. And this is, several hours later. I can only imagine what he's going through right now. It must be, any parent's worst nightmare. And I don't really have anything else other than what he posted. I mean, he told me this morning when I asked him, what time you want to do the show. And then he put a really nice post out on X. I don't know how he's doing it, to be perfectly honest. The guy's got, I don't know. He's a lot stronger than I am, I think. Just absolutely fucking crazy, man. I don't know what to say other than life is short and it can be over in an instant. Don't take these moments for granted. You never know. Tomorrow's not guaranteed. You don't know. Man, every interaction you have with somebody could be the last. So make sure you make the most of it. Take advantage of the time we have here, because that I mean, I don't know, it really rocks you. So yeah, keep Justin and his family in your thoughts and prayers. It's God, just what a fucking awful situation. And Justin's become a great friend over the years. And I didn't know his son too well, but I did know him. It's mostly me giving him a hard time about getting into the gym. But seemed like a good kid. Great family. Definitely don't deserve this, but yeah, so he's going to be out for a while. He has as much time as he needs. If he's ever going to come back, hopefully he will. Certainly going to be missed around here, but I'll do my best to fill in while he's gone. I guess it's kind of a throwback to the early days of the Peddling Fiction podcast. For those of you that have been listening for a while, post Johnny the Jew, pre Justin the Hillbilly Boy. But I guess the show must go on, as they say. But just an awful situation. So I don't know what else to say other than I hope they can get through this, man. That's a real. Just the more you think about it, the more fucked up it is. So, yeah, God, what a waste, man. And you never expect these things to happen. I guess they're always possible, but you never think it's going to happen to you. And man, when it does, it really is a gut punch. So yeah, I don't know what else to say other than unbelievably sad. And I hope obviously if he needs anything from me, he's got it. If you know Justin personally, maybe reach out and see if there's anything you can do for him. I don't know. I like I said, I don't have any kids, but that's got to be a parent's absolute worst nightmare. No parent wants to outlive one of their kids, and then to have them taken from you just so suddenly and everything like that is just awful. It's been a fucked up couple of weeks. Yeah, the Mexico, all that Mexican shit, it was only like, what? I don't even know. Was it 2 weeks ago now? It feels like a fucking eternity ago. It was the 22nd. That was a little over a week ago. But it feels like months ago at this point. PV is completely back to normal. I think a lot of that, I don't want to say a lot of the stuff was overblown, because day of, it was pretty bad. However, I think from what I've been seeing about like the reaction to it in the US, they were overstating the circumstances a little bit. These things do happen from time to time here. Generally, when the Mexican cops or whoever arrests a high-ranking cartel guy, they'll throw one of these temper tantrums. And yeah, they light these Oxos on. Oxo is sort of like a 7-Eleven, the Mexican version of a 7-Eleven. They're everywhere. the walk that I do from my apartment here to where I normally stay, about 35-minute walk, something like that. And there's like, I think there's 3 Oxos that I pass in that period. And there's one right on the corner to me here that got hit. And then one of the 3 on my walk was also taken out. That's just, they just do that. I don't know. And then they sort of flex, and then that's the end of it. In this case, when you take out like a cartel boss, it's kind of hard to know exactly how long the tantrum's going to last, and whether or not there's going to be, you know, some sort of succession in place where when it comes to the cartel, if there's going to be, that's sort of what I was a little more worried about, is like, okay, yeah, they're burning cars and Oxos and things like that and setting up roadblocks. I saw some of the, you know, they had some shootouts and things with the Mexican authorities, but I don't know. I mean, I heard stuff about like some civilians being killed, shot in the streets, but I don't even know if they were civilians or if they were cops or whatever. I don't think any Americans were hurt. And literally, like, I got stuck at the airport in Guanajuato all day. Luckily, I was in the lounge. So I'm just kind of watching this stuff unfold, and it was pretty bad. It was pretty dicey here in PV. I mean, they torched a lot of things. They torched the Costco, which I think is back up and running. There was a scare at the airport. So you just don't, you know, when that sort of thing happens here, you just kind of stay home. And if you're not, you know, wandering around in the streets, you're generally going to be fine. They weren't kidnapping Americans or anything like that. They weren't hurting civilians. Like when they torched their cars, they took the people out of the car, and they didn't kidnap them or anything. They just said, like, get the hell out of here. We're burning your car, which sucks. But, you know, they weren't just like killing people indiscriminately. It's not really a civil war or anything like that. But it was, you know, to be in transit was probably the worst possible situation. So my flight was eventually canceled. Excuse me. I'm still trying to get over this. I don't know. Maybe I got long COVID. Maybe long COVID is really a thing, because I was never vaxxed. But so yeah, I've been sick since the week before all this nonsense. So it's been about 2.5 weeks of this. I'm getting pretty sick of it. I feel okay. I'm just sort of, you know, I have a cough and a little congested or whatever. So bear with me on that. Another reason why there were not too many episodes over the last couple of weeks, but yeah, to be caught in transit, like even if I were to be able to take a flight back here, I'd have to figure, I don't know how I would have gotten back to my apartment. And you don't want to be on the streets. Like, who knows? Something could happen. So I ended up taking a flight to LA, stayed with a friend there for a couple of days. And quite honestly, by the next day, everything was sort of back to normal. Nothing had, they still, I think the airport might have been open for domestic flights, maybe. I think it was, because I have a friend that works at the airport, and they were like supposed to go into work. I don't think they did. But yeah, it took like maybe another, by Tuesday, I think by Wednesday, all of the, you know, restaurants and bars and stores had reopened, and everything was pretty much back to normal. Tuesday, buses were running and things like that. So yeah, it's back to, like, you wouldn't even know if you didn't see the burned out Oxos around. You probably wouldn't have even known this happened. And it does, like I said, feel like it was an eternity ago. So, you know, a lot of people were talking about, oh, this is why I never go to Mexico. And it's so, you know, you're living in a cartel state and blah, 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 blah. It's like, yeah, please stay away. You got plenty of fucking gringos here getting in my way. Um, and I get it, you know, if that's if that's something that you're afraid of, it's certainly a possibility, and it can erupt at any time. But it's, you know, it's always a reaction to what the government does to the cartel. It's never, they're never just like attacking civilians for no reason. Um, and yeah, I mean, I don't know. There's risks everywhere. So yeah, it's not for everybody. But if you were planning like a spring break or something, you should not cancel it. I wouldn't. Everything's fine. So, you know, those things just happen. And then you sit at you sit inside for a day or two. Make sure you want to make sure you have provisions. So that's the other thing. I have nothing here because I still really haven't stocked this kitchen, which is not smart. Only having like a couple of days worth of stuff. But yeah, hung out in LA for a few days. It was a very expensive detour, but it was fun. And came back here on Thursday, I think, last week. And yeah, it's all good. It's all back to normal. Nothing to be concerned about. And of course, since then, we have much bigger fish to fry, particularly in the U.S. And you know, it's just funny to me, all these people that probably have never even left the country, trying to like talk about how they, you know, they would never come to Mexico or something. And it's like, dude, they're like, you know, the gang violence in Chicago, we just had that shooting in Texas. Like that shit's a much more real possibility than like having some run-in with the cartel. Even though I've managed to have one, I'm just lucky like that. You know, so there's risks everywhere. I guess you just got to figure out which ones you're capable or comfortable accepting. I will say, like, the Mexico, like especially places like PV, they were getting too big for their britches. Like this is going to have a profound effect on the economy here, I think, because this is like peak high season. This is, you know, the moment they are all been waiting for, where they can overcharge a bunch of fucking gringos for rent and tours and all that kind of stuff. And you know, the real estate here has just been insane. It's absolutely insane. And you know, it's priced for perfection, which, you know, there are very real risks to living here. It's not like it's always all, you know, sunshine and butterflies. So I don't know, maybe this will bring some reality crashing back into the housing market here. We'll see. And some of the prices, I mean, the cost benefit analysis to Mexico has been dwindling, although because of all this craziness in the Middle East, the dollar has caught a bid the last couple of days, which is bizarre to me. I mean, it's not unexpected that people would do the most retarded thing in a crisis. They tend to jump into dollars for some reason. It's just retarded, in my opinion. But the exchange rate has been dropping precipitously here, and the prices have been going up as well. So the risk reward cost benefit to living here versus living somewhere in the U.S. It's been a gap that's been closing for a long time. I mean, I was just in LA, so I think I got probably some of the highest prices in the country. Of the U.S. I got the pleasure of paying those for the last 4 or 5 days, something like that. And yeah, they were substantial, but like PV is not that much cheaper. Yeah, well, I shouldn't say not that much. I mean, it's maybe half, depending on what you're talking about. Yeah. Not quite half. like a cocktail was running me like $18 to $20 in LA. And here they're like, 15, 13 to 15, something like that, depending on where you are. So it's like, it's a little cheaper, but it's not like, oh yeah, Mexico, like so cheap, blah, 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 blah. Like, no, we got $15 burgers here too. We got to, there's places you can go if you want to pay $20 for a cocktail. Those exist here as well. So yeah, I don't know, maybe this will help bring some reality back to the situation. Like, yo, this is Mexico, and they kind of need to remember that from time to time. You can't just be charging insane fucking prices and then have the cartel erupt into chaos whenever they feel like it. I feel like that needs to be priced in. Call me crazy. But anyway, the bigger story, obviously, over the last few days is we are at war with Iran on behalf of Israel. Exactly what was not supposed to happen with the Donald Trump presidency. No new wars. That was everybody's talking point for Donald Trump. And here we are. Not only is this a new war, this is a regime change war, which Tulsi Gabbard and everybody was certainly against. I mean, what can you say at this point? It's just nobody should be surprised, I guess. And looking back, we really shouldn't. I mean, this really puts the whole Venezuela thing into perspective, doesn't it? Now that makes a lot more sense. Oh, you're about to bomb the shit out of Iran and fuck up the transport of like 90% of the world's oil? Okay. Or whatever it is, 60%. I forget the percentage that goes through the Straits of Hormuz, but so you take out Venezuela, secure that oil first, and then you're free to fuck with the Middle East, right? Just, dude, it's just depressing. I don't know what to say. It's disappointing. I don't think we should be surprised at this point that a president's going to disappoint, do the opposite of what they campaign on. They all do it. Donald Trump is no exception, apparently. And this is going to be an unmitigated fucking disaster. I mean, it already is. Now, I mean, the markets today finally had an appropriate reaction. Yesterday was just like, I was watching these markets. Everyone's kind of expecting some sort of Black Monday event. And it was just like flat, like we're just going to shrug this one off. Like, oh yeah, we're going to war with Iran. No big deal. Like, I don't know, maybe they thought it was going to be another one of these like quick things that Donald Trump negotiates his way out of or something and then brags about it. But that doesn't seem to be the case here. And today was a much better indication, I think, of the markets coming back to reality of the situation, which is like, this is going to be bad for everyone. And Iran hit something like, it was like 15 countries in retaliation. Like, they were just fucking firing off rockets everywhere. We're firing up, we're doing shit. Like, this is going to go on for a bit. I mean, they're even admitting that it's like, a couple of months, right? So, if they're planning on a couple of months, I don't even know how you do the math on that. Like, what was the plan for Iraq or Afghanistan? I don't even think they were talking about months. I think they were talking about weeks back then, and it ended up being decades. So I don't know how you do the math. But this is just another just completely unnecessary thing We don't need to do this. This is not in the American people's interest. And it certainly does seem like it's on behalf of Israel once again, which just, dude, it's getting so fucking annoying, man. So annoying. Just bending over backwards for Israel constantly and pretending like we're not their bitch. And I just don't understand why. It's like this abusive relationship that one person's just so much better looking and better off than the other, but they keep bending over for this ugly piece of shit. Like, what do we need Israel for? It really is just frustrating to watch them, and then the fucking bullshit spin that they're coming up with. I mean, I don't know if you guys have listened to any. I'm sure you probably have listened to some of the coverage and the press and the statements from like Hegseth, and they were like, "Oh, we didn't start this war. We didn't start this." It's like, we absolutely did start it. Like, there's just bald-faced lies right to your face. And they're all demonstrably false and contradictory. So, yeah, I mean, I don't even know what else you can really say, except that this is just another illegal war. And this is, I mean, to watch these politicians grandstand, the Democrats are against this, obviously, because it's Donald Trump doing it. The Republicans are for it, obviously, because it's Donald Trump doing it. If the situation were reversed and it was Kamala Harris who won the presidency, all these Republicans would be against it. All the Democrats would be for it. All the MAGAs would be against it. All the, crazy leftists would be for it. And they're talking about, the president doesn't have authority to do this. Like, yeah, no shit. Oh, he needs to declare, Congress needs to be consulted, declare war. So, yeah, well, the last time we did that was World War II. So now you're going to complain about it? Really? Fucking 70 years later? It's like, Jesus Christ, dude. What the fuck? 80 years later. When was the last time? It was like 45. I don't know when like, it's absolutely ridiculous. And this is the problem. This is the problem when you don't have principles and you don't have, you just let them get away with it because it's your party. So now we've created this precedent where it's like the president of the United States can just essentially just do whatever the fuck he wants, at least for a couple of months. You know how much damage could be done in a couple of months before it's like, oh yeah, they work it through their bullshit system and then they figure out that the Supreme Court ruled and, oh, he's not allowed to do that. Well, it's too late. He already fucking did it. So now what? Now we're in a full-fledged war. You can't put that toothpaste back in the bottle. Or in the tube, whatever. Bottle of toothpaste. So this is why these restrictions of the Constitution were so important. And to watch them just wither away at them left and right, year after year, and then feign this outrage when the next guy takes it a step further. It's like, yeah, this is the risk. Now you're at the whims of a Donald Trump. And yeah, apparently Lindsey Grahams and the Mark Levins of the world and all these fucking neocons that have been pushing for this type of conflict for as long as I can remember. Yeah, they got it. It's like the goddamn deep state always wins. And this is just, it's just going to be so bad. So bad. I think like 4 Americans have already been killed. There will be more, most likely. A lot of innocent, I mean, I don't know, that school that just fucking destroyed like 100 and 6 little girls or something like that. Oops. It's going to be a lot of that. Trillions of dollars of wealth have just been fucking wiped out of the markets, not to mention the cost of this for the American taxpayer. Again, just money we don't have. I saw this. I saw this article today. Trump announces that the U.S. is going to cover insurance for all the ships traveling through the Gulf and provide Navy escorts. U.S. Navy are going to escort all the ships carrying oil and stuff back and forth. Where are we going to get the fucking money to do that? And maybe it's a little callous to be talking about money when people's lives are on the line, but people's lives are on, like, people's lives are being ruined by this inflation too. There's a cost to that. And prices are getting out of control. Like I said, it makes almost no sense that, precious metals got hammered today and yesterday as well. For silver, gold was pretty flat. The dollar is up fucking huge over the last 2 days. Went from 97 to 99 on the dollar index. People are jumping into dollars. Talk about hopping out of the frying pan into the fire. We're gonna be printing dollars like they're going out of style, even faster than we were before. And this is just gonna like these missiles cost hundreds of millions of dollars to launch these things. It's crazy, man. You just see these numbers, and it's just like, to see you're lighting money on fire doesn't even do justice to it. Doesn't even do justice. But every time one of these rockets gets launched, every time one of these drones, I saw we were doing some suicide drones. Oh, that's great. Can't reuse those things. They're just gonna fucking fly them into things, crash them. Okay, that sounds like a plan. We lost. It was a 3 F-15s or something the other day. Yesterday in Kuwait, some friendly fire incident apparently, or they were shot down by Iranian. I don't know. Who knows? But that's a couple $100 million right there, just evaporated. So this is just going to be. I don't see any real upside to this, other than okay, yeah, the Ayatollah is gone. Apparently, an abusive guy. Who cares? What American gives a shit about this? How many Americans even know what an Ayatollah is, or how to spell it, or whoever the fuck this guy was? This just does not matter to the American people, nor should it. And the idea that people are gonna fucking come up with excuses as to why Donald Trump should have done this or had to do this or this is a good thing, it's not a good thing, dude. This is just. I mean, even if this works out, best case scenario, it's not a good thing. But the odds of this not being a prolonged conflict, to say the least, are probably pretty low. Yeah. And do we have the sound from, I think I got the sound flagged. We can hear from Marco Rubio. Like, dude, sometimes you can't even believe they're saying these things. Let me see if I can pull this up here. Bear with me. I don't have Justin manning the controls. Yeah, here we go. Hang on. I'll share the screen. There we go.
The United States is conducting an operation. The United States conducted this operation with a very clear goal in mind. I haven't got a chance to see a lot of reporting. I don't understand what the confusion is. Let me explain it to you, and I'll do it once again as clearly as possible. Perhaps you'll report it that way. The United States is conducting an operation to eliminate the threat of Iran's short-range ballistic missiles and the threat posed by their Navy, particularly to naval assets. That is what it is focused on doing right now, and it's doing quite successfully. I'll leave it to the Pentagon and the Department of War to discuss the tactics behind that and the progress that's being made. That is the clear objective of this mission. The second question that's been asked is, why now? Well, there's two reasons why now. The first is it was abundantly clear that if Iran came under attack by anyone, the United States or Israel or anyone, they were going to respond against the United States. The orders had been delegated down to the field commanders. It was automatic, and in fact, it bared to be true, because in fact, within an hour of the initial attack on the leadership compound, the missile forces in the south and in the north, for that matter, had already been activated to launch. In fact, those had already been pre-positioned. The third is the assessment that was made that if we stood and waited for that attack to come first before we hit them, we would suffer much higher casualties. And so the president made the very wise decision. We knew that there was going to be an Israeli action. We knew that that would precipitate an attack against American forces. And we knew that if we didn't preemptively go after them before they launched those attacks, we would suffer higher casualties and perhaps even higher those killed. And then we would all be here answering questions about why we knew that. And for much, we hit them, we would suffer much higher casualties. And so the president made the very wise decision. We knew that there was going to be an Israeli action. We knew that that would precipitate an attack against American forces. And we knew that if we didn't preemptively go after them before they launched those attacks, we would suffer higher casualties and perhaps even higher those killed. And then we would all be here answering questions about why we knew that and didn't act. The United States conducted.
Dude, so he literally said, Israel forced our hand to do this. It's, dude, why not just tell Israel to go fuck themselves? So his justification is, we needed to hit Iran because if we waited and somebody else hit Iran, then Iran would hit us back. And that someone else was going to be Israel. Is Israel going to hit Iran without the backing of the US? You tell Israel, okay, go, you do that, you're on your own. And then you tell Iran, be like, yep, we're out of this one. Israel's going fucking rogue. We're not backing them on this play. So leave us out of this. How hard is that? That wouldn't work. Call Israel's bluff. Let them swing their fucking dick around without us backing them up, without us providing money and weapons, air support, and all that stuff. How about that? Like this is just ridiculous, dude. This is ridiculous. And then they'll say, "Oh yeah, it's because their nuclear program. They can never have a nuke." But of course, we obliterated their nuclear capabilities 6 months ago, or whenever it was. 9 months ago? Now, I don't know. Last summer, I forget when that was. June, July, something like that. None of this. It's all bullshit. You've watched them come up with 10 different excuses as to why this had to happen, and none of them hold water. And they just keep, every time you poke a hole in their bullshit theory, they jump to another one, another justification. And when they hop back and forth between 5, 6, 7 different excuses or different rationales as to why they did it, they're all bullshit. And yeah, the amount of just hearing them say the exact same things. I mean, I know it's hard for people to remember things in these really fast moving news cycles and everything, but they're saying the exact same shit they said in Iraq, almost verbatim. Oh, look at all the Iranian people. They're dancing in the streets. They're celebrating the fall of the Ayatollah. Where have we heard that before? I heard Donald Trump's talking about arming some rebels instead of putting boots on the ground. I wonder have we ever tried that before? How did that work out? Come on, man. Come on. This is exactly what the problems that we've been dealing with for the last 25 fucking years. So we're doing the exact same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. The definition of insanity. Now, they can tell you that this is going to be different because was it Rubio? Or no, it was JD Vance. JD Vance was saying, oh, well, we had stupid presidents in the past or something like that didn't know how to conduct a war or whatever. And Donald Trump knows what he's doing. Okay. I know Donald Trump fancies himself a genius, but a lot of people would beg to differ on that front. And he seems to be as powerless to stop these fucking neocons and the deep state as anybody. This is maybe he's got something up his sleeve. It doesn't look like it. It looks like we're just going for it now. We're at war. We are going for regime change. There's no real plan in place, as usual. We drop bombs first, ask questions later. It's just, I don't know what gives JD Vance the confidence that Donald Trump has this all figured out when all the other previous presidents didn't. When there's no plan that they can point to, there's no like, okay, this is, I get it. They don't want to divulge what the plan is and put that out there so everybody knows what's going to happen. Okay. Yeah, good. Play it close to the vest. But this is, I mean, the longer this goes on, the more people are going to get involved, the more countries get involved, the more kindling there is for a fucking huge fire. And we have enough problems of our own. It's not like everything's great in the US. It's quite the opposite. So again, dude, we've already got the Russia-Ukraine thing still going on. Zelensky's crying because now he's worried that his money spigots are going to dry up. Yeah, it took him like 2 days to be like, oh, what about me? We still need some money and we still need some weapons. Yeah. So that war that was never supposed to happen and never would have happened if Donald Trump had just been reelected. Well, he hasn't been able to end it. And now we got this Iran thing. Great. And who knows what's going on in Venezuela? I mean, like, is anybody even talking about that anymore? Like, what's happening over there? Don't know. Well, I don't know what's going on in Mexico either. Like, that was a thing just a week ago. He was talking about, oh yeah, we're gonna, we can send it. We can take out the cartel from Mexico if we want to. They just ask us to. We'll do it. How many fucking fires do you think you can put out when you haven't put out any yet? All you've done is light more fires since you got elected. And we already had quite a few fires to be putting out. This is nonsense, man. This is so fucking ridiculous. I don't like, I don't know, man. All these people voting, like, are you ever going to figure out what the game is and how it's played? It's, dude, you literally get exactly the opposite of what they can campaign on every single time, without exception. Without exception. They never deliver on any of their promises. But it's always like the worst promises that the biggest promises, the worst ones are the ones that they fucking go back on. No new wars. I mean, if this plays out like the rest of the Middle East horseshit that I've watched go on for the majority of my life, dude, my friends' kids could be fighting in this. Like, that's how fucking ridiculous this is. And I'm sure that's running through their minds. You got a fucking 7-8-year-old kid right now. I don't know what the odds of this being over in 10 years are, or the odds that this is still a conflict that we are actively engaged in 10 years, but the odds aren't zero. They're not zero. And so what's it all for? Why are we doing it? Because it's certainly not in the interest of the American people. Never is, never was, never has been. Israel, like you literally just heard it from Marco Rubio. Israel made us do this, essentially, is their position. And I think he might have, I haven't listened to this other clip yet. But I think somebody asked them like a question about it today. Let's listen to this. Hang on. Let me share this again.
Yeah, your statement is false.
Yesterday,
All right, crank up that volume.
you told us that Israel was going to strike Iran and that's why we needed to get involved. Today, the president said that
No.
Iran was going to get.
Yeah, your statement is false. So that's not what I was asked very specifically. Were you there yesterday?
Yes, I asked
Okay.
the question.
No, were you the one that, because somebody asked me a question yesterday, did we go in because of Israel? And I said, you were asking me that follow-up. And I said, no. I told you this had to happen anyway. The president made a decision, and the decision he made was that Iran was not going to be allowed to hide behind its ballistic missile program, that Iran was not going to be allowed to hide behind its ability to conduct these attacks. That decision had been made. The president systematically made a decision to systematically destroy this terroristic capability that they had, and we carried that out. I was very clear in that answer. This was a question of timing, of why this had to happen as a joint operation, not the question of the intent. Once the president made a decision that negotiations were not going to work, that they were playing us on the negotiations, and that this was a threat that was untenable, the decision was made to strike them. That's what I said yesterday, and you guys need to play it. If you're going to play these statements, you need to play the whole statement, not clip it to reach a narrative that you want to do, all right?
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. I played your rebuttal to the fact that, I mean, I don't even know how you clip that out of context when you say the president made the decision to attack them before they could retaliate for somebody else attacking them, and that somebody else being Israel. Israel forced our hand, is what he said. And now, of course, he's backpedaling on that. Okay, so they can't hide behind their ballistic missile. I don't even know what that means. What does that mean? Hiding behind your ballistic missile program? How do you hide? What does that mean? I don't know what that means. It's all just ridiculous. It's all bullshit. It's all bullshit. It's fucking ridiculous, dude. We do not need to be involved in this. And I just, I think it was Tucker Carlson. Who was he interviewing? It might have been Ted Cruz. Was it Ted Cruz or was it somebody else? Where he was asking him if, if the will of the American people actually matters. I was like, oh yeah, of course, democracy. But he's like, well, nobody wants to do this. So what different, like, does it really matter if you're just going to do whatever the fuck you want in direct contradiction to what the American people want? He's like, well, we're not gonna base foreign policy based on what the American people want, or something to that effect. I forget who he was talking to, but it's like, yeah, don't give a shit. They will say whatever they need to say to get elected. You can keep telling yourself this fucking fantasy of democracy like you have some representation. Where's your representation? Who, besides all these neocons and these Israel first people, like Ben Shapiro's of the world, who wants war with Iran among the American people? How is this a priority? Well, for all the other problems they got, jobs are a concern. The overall economy is a concern. Inflation, major concern. The border, a major concern. Granted, he did seem to stop the flow from the border very easily, by the way. The deportations haven't been going well. Hopefully, I don't know, maybe this seems to take the spotlight off a lot of the ICE stuff that was going on. Even that seems like a fucking eternity ago. This news site, it just moves so fast. It moves so goddamn fast. But all that craziness in Minnesota, now that's gone. All the Epstein stuff, that's nobody's talking about that anymore. Although they did just have Bill Clinton testifying, or not testifying, being deposed, and Hillary Clinton. I don't think we'll have time to go into that today. But that's been weird, to say the least, watching Bill Clinton fucking talk about that stuff. There's much bigger concerns the American people than if there's an abusive Ayatollah in control of Iran. Okay, like, why does everything have to be our problem? Nobody elected Donald Trump to go intervene further in the Middle East. There's nobody that would have fucking said that. Nobody. He didn't campaign on it. He campaigned on just the opposite. And I'm sure you've probably heard those clips of him talking about how stupid and inept Obama was, and he's going to try to attack Iran to get reelected because he can't negotiate, blah 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 blah. Well, he actually did negotiate something instead of going to war with Iran, and Trump tears up that negotiation, and now here we are at war with Iran. Yeah, okay, 4D chess. 4D chess your way out of this one. And even if it is just another one of these like shorter conflict, it's beside the point as far as I'm concerned. This is not like, okay, I didn't vote, but I know what people say they voted for, and this ain't it. This is not it. And just because you can do something doesn't mean you should. And we're throwing our weight around like we haven't got a care in the world. And at some point, I mean, every single one of these operations is risky. And at some point, like, you're gonna, like, something bad's gonna happen. And this is, again, dude, Iran is not Iraq. It's not Afghanistan. It's not some tiny little fucking country with a bunch of camel fuckers running around with AK-47s. No, it's a substantial country with a real military, and we just took out their fucking leader, who's also like a religious figure. And there's, the potential for, blowback in the U.S. We already had that shooting in Texas. That guy was wearing some, I'm with Allah shirt or whatever. He shot a bunch of people at a bar. There's going to be more of that. And even if it's a false flag, it's like, there's going to be more of it. You open the door for that. You open the door for a lot of shit. And this is just very unnecessary. Very fucking unnecessary. And I think it's going to be very unpopular. And I know Donald Trump's coming out and saying anybody that's criticizing him over this isn't MAGA. Tucker Carlson's not MAGA. Megyn Kelly's not MAGA. I haven't really listened to their coverage of this yet. I don't listen to a lot of Tucker Carlson, actually. I catch the clips here and there, but dude, any Republican that's just going along with this, just without even asking questions, that should be career suicide. But it's just ridiculous. You're just supposed to blindly accept that the president of the United States can drag the country into a war all by himself? That's what we're going with here? Because it's just Donald Trump and he's different. All the other presidents were stupid. But Donald Trump's got a 4D chess plan to get this done. Oh, and they weren't, he determined that they weren't negotiating in good faith. Okay. I thought he was like the great negotiator, though. What happened to that? What happened to being like the art of the deal? The art of the deal is like bomb them in the middle of negotiations. That's going to go over well. I'm just so fucking done with this Israel shit. They're like it's like a tumor on top of cancer. Like the US government is the cancer, and then Israel's like this tumor that's growing on top of the cancer. What the fuck, dude? How did they get such control over our empire? It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. Almost impressive. Almost impressive if it wasn't so fucking infuriating. And then to watch them pretend like it has nothing to do with it, even though like a month or two ago, Donald Trump was talking about how all these Israel, these big time Jew Israel people were giving him like $250 million. It's like, oh, so you are for sale. Okay. And he hasn't been hiding that he will do anything for a buck. He had that executive thing, I forget the name of it, where it's like you could just for like 50 or 100 grand a year or something, 150 grand. I forget what the number was. A couple hundred grand a year, whatever, you can get access to the cabinet at this club or whatever. What's her face? That old Jew lady was giving him $250 million. We all know about the fucking AIPAC and the Israel lobby and everything. But this is, I mean, it is infuriating to watch them just so callously. Just, yeah, okay, we'll do it. We'll do it for Israel. And then pretend like they're not. Say they are, and then backpedal on that. And then come up with all these other bullshit justifications and lies about what they're doing and why they're doing it. Do I have the let me see if I have the Hegseth one. I think I got it here somewhere. I think I commented on it. Oh wait, here we'll get into some numbers. That's only a 15-second clip. That was Rubio talking about Iran can make over 100 ballistic missiles in a month. We can only make 6 or 7 interceptors. So that math. Let's see. Hang on. Bear with me here. Sorry. Where is Hegseth saying that we didn't start this when we absolutely did? Here we go. Oh, it's not an audio clip. It's just a quote from him. Oh, those are live updates. Okay. Yeah, we didn't start this. We didn't start this war, but under President Trump, we're going to finish it. That's a direct quote from Pete Hegseth. Okay. I don't know how you like, and again, he said war. I thought we weren't. Are we calling it a war now? Because president can't declare war. This has to be like some, euphemism for war that lets them wiggle out of the restrictions under the Constitution, right? So it's not a war; it's an operation or something. I forget whatever bullshit word they use to allow the president to essentially start a war without congressional approval. The whole fucking thing's broken, dude. They've broken the government that was created when the United States was created is completely broken. It resembles nothing that the founders envisioned. Nothing like it. Just in name only. Like we still have all the positions and everything, but it's 180 degrees different. And if you think that it's okay just because you like Donald Trump and you're a Trump supporter and you like some of the stuff he's done and you hate the people that hate him, if you think we can just allow a president to unilaterally declare war and that's going to be okay, dude, that is ridiculous. What if he just wakes up one day and wants to declare war on China now? Oh, we got to attack China because they would retaliate if somebody else attacked them. What? It's like, I forget the way somebody put it. Let me see if I can find this post that somebody put on X. I know I liked it. It was just a really funny way of putting it. Be right back. Got to punch my neighbor before he can punch me back for punching him. Except in theory, we weren't even going to be the ones punching. It was going to be somebody else. But you just cannot support this type of action, even if you like the president, even if it's your party. You can't do it. It opens us up to a world of fucking problems when you let them get away with literal murder at this point. But the murder of the Constitution and everything that it was supposed to, all these checks and balances and restrictions that it's supposed to put on the power of government. If he can just do this and he can just send your kids off to fucking fight another war on the other side of the world for God knows what reason. If he can do that, he can do anything. And this is the bed that we've made now. It's unrecognizable from how we started, 250 years ago. And it's exactly what we were trying to not let happen. This is bad. This is bad. Unfortunately, the precedent has been set. And there are people that are just going to carry water for him no matter what. This is like I said, dude, nobody. I can't think of one person that was like MAGA that would have supported this war before Donald Trump got elected and instigated it. If it was Kamala Harris or Joe Biden, they would be vehemently against it. But somehow they've done some mental gymnastics to justify it. And even if it is another one of these 12-day wars or something, to me, that's beside the point. He's still doing whatever the fuck he wants. And I'm sick and tired of paying for it. So anyway, I guess that's going to be it for today, guys. Just I don't know, fucked up day, fucked up week. And 2026 not off to a great start, is it? Check on the markets. They're futures have opened up again, and so have commodities. So they're up a little bit now, off the lows, but we'll see. We'll see here. I'll do we'll do a precious metals rundown real quick. Silver. So again, I've had these levels drawn in for quite some time. It's been a while since I've done a market recap, but this zone here that I have broken up, right? You can see for whatever random reason, we spiked all the way down to the bottom of it, almost to the tick. Almost to the tick right there. And this zone here was the one that I've been watching most recently. This guy. And you can see we closed right at the midpoint today. Almost to the tick if I draw it in perfectly. Make this blue or green, sorry. It's a bullish zone. So maybe just below it. Nope, no, hang on. I'll draw, yeah, basically right at it. I would have preferred to see it close a little higher, maybe at this red line here, about 83.43. But as far as I'm concerned, this is still cautiously optimistic for the bullish side, even with this. I was expecting a retracement down into this zone. We got it. And we got a nice little reversal off of the bottom of this range that I had previously identified. So we'll have to see if it can stay in the upper half of the zone here. I like our odds of going higher. But I don't know. There's a lot of manipulation going on in these markets right now. A lot of manipulation. And if you look at, let me get rid of this here. Let me get rid of all this stuff real quick. Okay, that too much lipstick. If you look at this, this is a very bearish zone right here. And this is on a daily chart. So you can see, look where we stopped, right below the midpoint. And we rejected strongly downward. But we couldn't reject past the midpoint of that inefficiency that I identified earlier, that green zone that was right here. So we're kind of caught between two zones right now. We're going to have to see which one wins out. If we do head lower, I'd look for a sweep of these lows below 72, possibly retesting something even below 64. I don't anticipate that to happen. And it's right now, as long as we stay in the upper half of that zone, I'd be looking for us to take out this swing high in the next week or two. Gold looks a little more bullish as well. So we can get rid of some of these things here. But if you look at this, it's sort of the same story, right? We had this inefficiency here. We dropped down into it, stayed in the upper half, got a nice reaction off the bottom. And we actually closed in that whole bearish zone here a while ago. So gold's looking a lot more bullish. I don't anticipate gold to be making new all-time highs while silver's testing 60. I just don't see that happen. I don't see that kind of a divergence. So I think gold might drag this thing higher. I think a lot of this was the fact that the dollar caught a bid. Here's the dollar chart. Here the last 2 days, you can see almost got up to 100 on the dollar index today. Pulled back quite substantially from those highs, but we ran these relative equal highs right here, just swept those. In my mind, irrationally, but that tends to happen when some sort of a crisis, they call it a flight to quality, but the fact that the US dollar is considered quality is just ridiculous to me. I don't get it. Especially when in this situation where it's like, okay, we're starting another war that's going to cost us a goddamn fortune. How is that good for the dollar? And we don't have any inflation stuff coming out this week. We have non-farm payroll coming out tomorrow. The ADP non-farm payroll tomorrow. We got ISM manufacturing prices today came in at 70.5. The forecast was 60.6. anything, the way I understand it is anything over 50 indicates rising prices. And the previous months were 59, 58, something like that. Now we're at 70. So prices are fucking exploding and our costs are exploding. I don't anticipate this dollar bid to last much longer, especially since we just swept those relative equal highs here. There are some more right above it, just above 100.5, 0.59. Maybe it sweeps up above there. But yeah, long term, I just don't see it in the charts or fundamentally. So take that for what it's worth. Futures are down a little bit at the open. These are on a delay though, because I'm not logged into my account to get live data. I've just been trading inside this range. That's the S&P 500. Here's the NASDAQ. Still inside it, basically. A lot of manipulation, a lot of sideways chop, a lot of indecision. So we'll have to wait to see. Bitcoin had a rally yesterday, down a little bit today. The Bitcoin chart looks terrible. I remember I did say you could start, this is back, I think when we were here around December of 2024. Wouldn't look to start building position until it sweeps 65, which it just did. So, but that was before this nice head and shoulders pattern and everything. I might amend that, but I think there's going to be a lot of craziness in these markets, a lot of manipulation, and a lot of uncertainty with how this thing's going to shake out with Iran. So be careful out there, everybody, in the markets and in life, because this is and today's one of those reminders that you just never know. So yeah, hug your loved ones. Make sure every interaction you have with somebody is a positive one, because you don't know if it's going to be the last. And yeah, Justin and his family are going to be in our T's and P's. Like I said, yeah, I don't know what's going to happen as far as the show's going. I'll keep doing it. I don't know if he's going to be back anytime soon. Probably not. So, he can take obviously all the time he needs to deal with it. So, yeah, I'm sure this is the least of his worries, as it should be. So, anyway, thanks for listening, everybody. It should be back on Friday with a regularly scheduled program. And there shouldn't be any more issues going forward in terms of the schedule. I apologize for the last couple of weeks. That was, we had 2 weeks of nothing. And it was all my fault. So, I will try to do better on that, but thanks for listening. And until next time, you guys know what to do. Just keep on peddling that so-called fiction. Peace.